Papa John's founder
Yeah,
used
we
the
know that the
N-word
media.
in a
We know that
conference call.
the media does skew things just to create controversy. So that.
But had that not happened, he wouldn't have lost his job. Had it come out in the media to say, hey, this guy was quoting Colonel Sanders dropping the N-bomb, and he dropped the N-bomb in the process of quoting, he wouldn't have lost his job. Even nothing would have happened. It would have been like, oh, yeah, dude, yeah, I got it. Hey, by the way, you don't need to say that next time, but like, seriously, what the fuck? I mean, come on. Like, you don't need to, but come on.
Yeah. So then
Okay?
it's the
So you
fault
would
of
go
the
there.
media.
You'd be there on that.
Yeah,
So
halfway.
this takes it to, this is though the power that black people have to determine at some level, it's because it's the power of white people, the fear of white people. Dude, even me, who says the most outrageous things in the world, even here, even in the context of this conversation, I am not going to say that word because it could be the last day of my job. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Of all the things that I say, of all the things I could say, of all the things that are happening in the effing world, me just dropping that single word will be enough to say, Sam Richards, drop the N-bomb in class, fire that MFer. Like, this is where we're at. So this is the problem, right?
What's up, YouTube? Hope you guys are feeling good. Today, guys, we're back going to a new video, guys. Today, we're going to be checking out white privilege. Let's get right to today's video, guys. Poof.
Conservative peeps who are on the stream, this class is absolutely dedicated to you. Those of you who talk about the liberal narrative, the liberal media, the liberal this, the liberal that. I'm going to be on your team today, and we're going to talk all about the liberal narrative and the liberal media.
I love this.
And what I'm going to talk about it in a way to sort of bring it to light for those of us who, or those of you who identify as being more liberal, and then you don't see it. You know, it's like the fish. Yeah. It's like, just don't do this, dude. All right. So anyway, it's like the fish in water. When the fish is the last being or species to really understand water, right? Because you just grow up with water. Water is just a part of what life is. It's like us with air. If I told you had to try to explain air to somebody, how would you explain air? What you would go to is you go to wind. But wind isn't really air. I mean, not air. That's not what I'm talking about. How do you explain it? So that's kind of how liberalism and conservatism is. If you grow up with it and you're sort of steeped in it, you often don't see it around you. And so I'm going to talk about the liberal narrative and the liberal media today and a way to show you the way it comes into play or in the world of race relations. All right, what's your name?
Troy.
Troy, what's your name?
Patty.
Patty. You can sit on the table, you can not sit on the table, but you're going to be here for a good hot minute or so. Patty Troy.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte.
No.
How do you say it?
Charlotte.
Charlotte? All right.
I was born in Uganda, but I'm from Philly.
You're from Philly.
Not bad.
Okay, you're born in... When did you come here?
When I was 4.
When you were 4?
Yeah.
All right, that's good enough. All right, you're so, do you consider yourself African American or African sometimes and African American other times?
Sometimes African, sometimes African American.
Yeah, where in Uganda? In Kampala? Where?
Entebbe.
Entebbe?
Yeah.
Okay. Entebbe. Oh, yeah?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I have a question for you at some point. Okay, so listen. Check this out. Do you know this? Do you know the story of this guy?
Yes.
You know what happened?
Yes.
What happened?
I don't really remember. It kind of left the news.
What do you know of what
I know
happened?
I don't know the specific details, but I know that obviously what the headline says, that the founder used the N-word on a conference call.
He dropped the N-bomb.
Yeah.
Boycotted Papa John's pizza.
What's that?
Everybody boycotted Papa John's.
People
after
boycotted
that.
Papa
Yeah.
John's and the whole 9 yards. Okay, so we're going to talk about what happened. So here's what's up with this guy. So he's a businessman, okay? Well, I mean, he started Papa John's Pizza, and like he's a business guy, and there's franchises all over the U.S., all over the world, and make a lot of money. And there's a lot of money in pizza, I guess, because he makes a lot of money, and the franchise, and everybody makes a lot of money. So when the NFL players were taking a knee, it really reached a peak in 2017 season before last. Papa John's is the official pizza sponsor of the NFL. And so he comes out at some point and he says, listen, NFL, you got to get your shit together. Because, come on, this is really cutting into our profits. This is a problem for not only my company, but for lots of other companies. Now, in my company, by him, it's not just him. He doesn't make all the money. These are franchises and franchisees. So there are people who make a living off and send their children to college from, and so on and so forth, and pay their mortgages and their hospital bills and pay for the hospital bills of their children that are sick from the profits they make from their franchises from Papa John's. So this isn't just like him having a bunch of stock and going like, NFL, you need to get your shit together because, come on, I need to make more money because I only have 5 houses overseas and 3 corporate jets and I really want more. So he's saying, get it together. And people are saying, come on, man, this is Black Lives Matter. Come on, this is serious. He's like, look, I get it, it's Black Lives Matter, NFL, but I'm running a business here. Can you deal with the players and work it out? Because I'm running a business. And work this out and come to some kind of agreement with the players. He also gave money to the Trump campaign. So immediately, what does that mean about him? He gave money to Trump. What's it mean?
He supports semi-racist to racist comments if he's giving money to the Trump campaign.
Okay, so he supports racism, so you expect him to say racist things.
You don't expect him to say racist things out loud, maybe in a conference call, but
No, I'm not saying you do, but if I went around with a microphone, if I did a man or woman on the street interview and I said, hey, this guy gave money to the Trump campaign.
It means he doesn't mind. Racism doesn't
not-
make him angry enough to not give money.
Okay, got it.
He tolerates it. He doesn't see it as a problem.
Okay, ready? Okay, perfect. Okay, we following here? So now let's take it to the next step. And again, I don't know. I wasn't in the conference call. All I know is I'm just digging around for every little bit of information I get. And I'm going to give you to the best of my ability what actually happened here. Okay, so first off, the company hires this, because things go south, he steps down as the CEO. And then they hire this PR company called the Laundry Service, okay? And the Laundry Service is a New York City, Madison Avenue PR firm. And, they come in and they're trying to fix things because Papa John Shatter is his name. John Schnatter, Schnatter. You actually have an image problem because people think you don't like black people and that you're racist. Because you support Trump and you're coming out against taking a knee. Why don't you just be quiet? And so we got to work on this image issue because that's what happens, right? You work on image, right? I have my own PR person. Not really. Okay. They don't, if I did, they don't do a very good job. It's actually my wife. She spends half her waking hours trying to keep me from getting fired. Okay, so here we go. So he's on the conference call with them, and then in the conference call, it comes out that he drops the N-bomb. As we see here, drops the N-bomb. So a couple days later, he resigns as chair of Papa John's, the chair of the board. And then look at this. Papa John's CEO finally learned the lesson the media exercise was trying to teach. The media exercise was with the PR firm, that racism is bad for business. He's clearly a racist.
Prophet's ministry.
Okay? Which makes it really easy to get because he gave money to the Trump campaign. He didn't even say he voted for Trump, but he gave money to the Trump campaign. It might be a little bit harder, but it's really easy with Trump. So let me walk you through what happened on the call. So these guys are saying, listen, John, you got to get your image together. We're all in this it's a conference call, right? So you're just listening out. You got to get your image together. What's up? He's like, look, I'm not understanding what the real issue is. And they're saying, and so he's like, yeah, I don't really understand what the issue is. And they're saying, well, we have an idea for you. Listen, what you're going to do is, how about if we hire Kanye West as a spokesperson? This would be good. Kanye, because it's Kanye, whatever. And Schnatter says, nah, man, I'm not hiring Kanye West because he drops the N-bomb in his lyrics, and I don't support that. I'm not really into that. And they're like, well, what? Yeah, but he would be a good spokesperson for you. He'd be really good. I don't care. He's dropping the N-bomb in his lyrics. That's not the image I want for Papa John's Pizza. And he says, look, other people drop the N-bomb. So imagine, he's not talking to a room, he's talking to a microphone. Other people drop the N-bomb. Colonel Sanders regularly said N-bomb, okay? Regularly said N-bomb, and nobody cared. But that was Colonel Sanders. He regularly said it, nobody cared. But I'm not dropping it. So he said the N-bomb, and he said the word. Colonel Sanders regularly used the word, got it? Ready? The word, I'm not saying it. He said it in the conference call. Got it? He said it in the conference call. Cool? And they're saying, oh, well, hang on a second. I'm not really getting, like, this is a problem. Someone's like, I'm a little bit uncomfortable here. He's like, look, I get racism. Where I grew up in Indiana, when black people got out of line, people used to get in their pickup trucks and go get black people and drag them around in the backs of their pickup trucks. I get racism. It's like, I don't support racism. I don't support dropping the N-bomb. I don't support any of that. And I'm not for that, and I'm not going that route. Cool? That's the call. Now it comes out, John Schnatter dropped the N-bomb. Now, I feel some kind of way about this. Because if I had said in this classroom, so this guy in his conference call said, hey, Colonel Sanders used to say, and I actually said it, I'd do the same thing that he did. That would be the same thing that he did. I'm responding to something else in the context of a call that's really valuable and important. Look, probably the most well-known fast food giant and titan anywhere in the world is Colonel Sanders. And he used to drop the N-bomb all the time. And in the context of that conversation, using the word isn't really that out of line. Just
Why?
like,
We were thinking the same thing. Why?
Okay, if he was using the acronym the entire time before, why in that specific moment?
No, he didn't use the acronym. He just said it once. That was when he said it.
Yeah, but then
he never
why
talked
couldn't he
about
have just said Colonel Sanders said the
the
N-word all the time?
Because you understand that you're not supposed to say it. That's why you didn't just say it to his classroom.
No, hang on.
So you use the N-word. So why would he feel like it was comfortable to just say it in the moment? That he could have said Colonel Sanders used the N-word all the time, and he never did blah, blah, blah. Why did he have to say Colonel Sanders says...
Okay, so hang on. You ready? So you're telling me that this guy right here, because he's quoting somebody else in the context that makes a lot of sense.
It's not a research paper. You don't have to quote word for word. He could have just said Colonel Sanders.
Okay, so hang on. So you're telling me, of all the things happening in the world related to black people and brown people and genocide and one thing after another, this guy, because he said one word in the context of quoting somebody else, should lose his entire, it's like, well, it makes sense. He loses his entire pizza empire. He has to step down as CEO.
Well, we weren't talking about the entire context, though. We're talking specifically about the owner, the franchise manager for Papa John's, not talking about relating all of this to everything else. In that specific instance, if they feel like it was necessary, why, I don't understand. If he could have said, there's 1,000, oh my gosh, so many other words in the English dictionary, and we know that there's an acronym.
But that's not what Colonel Sanders said.
But why did he have to say it?
That's a cool, okay, listen.
Sean brought up at one point, why do people feel like they want to say it so bad? Why does he want to say it so bad? Why wouldn't he just say the N-word?
Being devil's advocate, though, I kind of feel bad for him. Like, if it was in that context, then maybe it was a bit extreme for him to lose his entire empire, but I still don't think he needed to necessarily say the full word in the context of the conversation.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Take a look at that. Papa John's founder used
we
the
know that the
N-word
media,
in a
we know that
conference
the media does skew things just to create controversy. So that,
But had that not happened, he wouldn't have lost his job. Had it come out in the media to say, hey, this guy was quoting Colonel Sanders dropping the N-bomb, and he dropped the N-bomb in the process of quoting, he wouldn't have lost his job. Even nothing would have happened. It would have been like, oh, yeah, dude, yeah, I got it. Hey, by the way, you don't need to say that next time, but like, seriously, what the fuck? I mean, come on. Like, you don't need to, but come on.
yeah. So then
Okay?
it's the
So you
fault
would
of
go
the
there.
media.
You'd be there on that.
Yeah,
So
halfway.
this takes it to, this is though the power that black people have to determine at some level, it's because it's the power of white people, the fear of white people. Dude, even me, who says the most outrageous things in the world, even here, even in the context of this conversation, I am not going to say that word because it could be the last day of my job. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Of all the things that I say, of all the things I could say, of all the things that are happening in the effing world, me just dropping that single word will be enough to say, Sam Richards, drop the N-bomb in class, fire that MFer. Like, this is where we're at. So this is the problem, right? This is the problem. And this is the power that somehow has emerged around. In black people, what I think is that like a lot of, and look, I understand, remember the conversation we had, or the class we had on inequality, right? All the hidden inequality. So like, there's no one in this room that, because I study that, I get it more than anyone in the room. Like all the hidden ways in which the two of you are discriminated against in ways that you will never see. And certainly people with light skin will never see and never understand, but you'll never even see it. It's worse than what you would imagine, right? But this, like, fuck. So you don't have the power to stop discrimination. Got it? You don't have the power to stop that. But there's a power here over white people cowering in fear over like, whoa, fuck. Because if Papa John's gets hammered, like, for saying it like that? He's just quoting somebody? Like,
I think it's definitely different though when you're like a person, like Papa John's is a huge name. When you're a public figure and your name is out there, you are at greater risk. But if you're just an everyday person, you can do it and face
okay, so what
little
about this?
consequence at all.
So let's go back 4 years. We're doing the live stream. Somebody wrote something in on a YouTube comment, and they dropped the M-bomb. Okay? Mm-hmm. And so we put it up there, and I read it, because it was small type, and people can read, and I read it. And I said the word, because I'm reading it. I'm like, come on, this is a race relations class, MFers, you know what I mean? Like, what am I going to do? And da-da-da-da-da, N-bomb, and go. And so I just like, yeah, whatever, I'm just reading it. If you find that video, and we put it out in the world, and Sam Richards dropped the N-bomb, look, we have video to show that. And you got people calling for my head, saying he should be fired. And what would you say? 4 years ago, I read a tweet, not a tweet, but a comment on YouTube. And I didn't skip over the word because I just thought that was hypocritical to do in a class like this. Like, come on, man. Y'all see it. I see it. Let's go. This is just stupid, right?
I think that sometimes the consequences are extremely harsh because it wants to be proven, it wants to be out there that it's no exception, zero tolerance is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got
so
you.
that I don't know if I'd agree with having your head or you losing your job, but the point of zero tolerance is because people still use it casually. They still say it whenever they want to.
Yeah.
And if you don't get to the point of zero tolerance, if you say, oh, okay, well then maybe that's okay sometimes, and other people will be like, yeah, well I know that my situation isn't the exact same, but I'm gonna use it because I think that one time that person didn't get in trouble. So yeah, you got to have zero tolerance to start off with, and to make sure that everyone knows this is not acceptable, this is not a word that we use, et cetera, et cetera. And that's what's going on here, zero tolerance.
Okay, I think that's a fair response. Do you have a response?
I agree with her.
Oh, wait, hang on before you start clapping a second, right? You got some claps, by the way, okay? From white people, by the way. We're good. Right? All right, so listen. Here's the problem. What this also shows me, and now what it's showing to a lot of other folks, what this also says is, wow, man, if he's like, I get the zero tolerance thing, I got it, right? Like I have zero tolerance for a lot of things, like children who go to bed hungry, you know what I mean? For bombing, for sending bombs and missiles to other countries where we know people are using them on children or innocent people, and we do it anyway because we make profits from it. I have a zero tolerance for that, but that doesn't get me anywhere, so whatever. The problem is, what it also does is tell people we shouldn't have a conversation. Because it's like, damn, I can't say it like that. Well, what other words, what else am I going to say that I'm going to get shit? And then what it says to people, men, straight people dropping the F-bomb, whatever it is, right? What it says is, just be quiet. Don't say anything. Because this is too dangerous.
Yeah.
And then we don't have real, honest, and we don't have any conversations. And then, like, okay, this is a problem. And that's not what we want, right? Because we're not going to address the issues if we don't have conversations.
I agree with that, but for like different reasons. I think people are either pushed to like be quiet and not say anything, or people don't have conversations, so they don't understand why certain communities think it's like unacceptable for like other groups to use it. So like if you try to tell someone you can't use that word, they're just going to get angry and just kind of block you out and block your explanation out and continue to, push the fact that they want to use it and they should use it because it's just a word. And then the people who stay quiet don't understand really why they're staying quiet, but they just don't want to step into that territory. So I think both like circumstances are equally bad, and it's all kind of like produced because people don't talk about it.
For me, I have an abundance of white friends. I grew up in a suburban area of Charlotte, North Carolina. And I know that if they have a question, like there's me and there's 3 other girls that grew up in our friend group that they come and ask before they would go out and say anything. So I think you're right on the silence part of it, but there are some conversations being held with people that they're comfortable with.
There's something we are all facing in America. Like, white people are afraid to use the N-word. The words still go back to slavery and stuff like that. By using the N-word, whenever a black man hear a white man using the N-word, or even a white man using the N-word, they get furious. It feels as if the word is a danger word. Like, if a white person is to say that word, the N-word, it looks as if you just want to create chaos or fights around you. It feels like danger. Or you're a racist if you have to use the N-word. You understand? So, it creates fear in white people, number one. It creates silence. Some people do not know what the N-word is in America. But they just feel like it's a word they should not use. Do you understand? So that itself it's a fear. It's a power for black people that no white person can use that word, the N-word, against them. Do you understand? Because if they had to use the N-word against a black man, he will feel like the white man wants to be superior over him, that the white man is a racist. Do you understand? So it's very, very serious. It's something that we should all talk about in America. It's a word that the black can say and nothing happen, but when a white man says it's an offense. For me, I feel like we should be beyond this. We should have passed this by now by using the N-word or not using the N-word. Do you understand? So the black feel insulted when the white man uses it, but it shouldn't be that way. You get? I think Charlie Cake has talked about this before. There are some words that the black people use and they get away with it, but whenever a white man uses it, or even a Hispanic person, it creates war. Mostly a white person. Whenever a white person uses that word, it's like violence is about to start. It's like war is about to start. It's like danger. The white people are afraid of. They don't even want to really say N-word in general. Talk more of using the word itself. Do you understand? So it's something we should all look into and have a discussion. And people ought to know what the word is. Because I do see the word on YouTube. As the professor said, on my videos, I see people using the N-word like a lot. Whenever it comes to this racism, white privilege, CRT, DEI, like I see a lot of people using the N word on my comment sessions. So because someone is reading a news or reading a comment and say it out does not mean the person is a racist. Because whenever the N word is being used, whenever a white man is to say the N word, people assume in their head or presumed in their head that that person is a racist. The person might not be a racist. He just used the word. The black man should not be pained by a white man using that word. I don't understand where the pain is coming from. Is it because of the slavery aspect? Because that era have passed. What they did, white people have asked for forgiveness countless number of times. As the black people that are looking for reparation over again, that they will never get. So for me, this is something we should bring to discussion and awareness, because a lot of white people do not know what that word is. They just know it's a word they should not use. A lot of people do not know, aside whites, a lot of people. Do you get? So it's mostly in America that N-word has massive power. That is a word a white man cannot use. Somewhere in Africa, people don't even care. People don't even use the word. People don't even care about the word. Do you understand? So in America, people tend to get furious. In the West in general, in UK, people tend to get furious whenever the N word is being used. You understand? But it's not everywhere in the world that they have such power about the N word stuff. It's mostly in America that the black people have such power that black people use some certain words that white people are not allowed to use, which for me is bullshit, if you ask me. What has happened in the past, it has happened. We move forward. That is my take. Subscribe to our channel, guys. Comment down below. And definitely see you guys in the next video. Make sure you stay safe.